I'm Steve, and this is CC Garage. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Well, if you're new to the channel, here's a couple of my projects. 70C60, that's going to be a car hauler. The Jeep, I just want to fix that, cut my loss to get rid of it. My 91 boosted CRX, my 67 Slam C10 on 22s. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that. Help support the channel so we can get some more videos out, so we can get some more content, because being into cars, not cheap. So, not too many updates. I mean, it's been pretty cold out. It's finally warming up. Everything's melting, which means all this is turning into a sloppy mess. Got the Cummins over there, the Charger's behind it. So, haven't really made any progress on the vehicles out here because it's been cold. I haven't had motivation. This is what happens every single winter. It'll start warming up. It'll be like, oh, it's 2 weeks until the first car show. I better get something done. But it's getting to that point pretty soon. I mean, it's not car shows in a couple weeks, but a couple months it'll be time to get these gems out. CRX, I know for sure I need to do a head gasket. There's a boost clamp that is bad, or not a clamp, the boost coupler, I guess, for the intercooler charge piping. The 67, haven't really had any issues. Main issue is the alternator. It does not keep up with the air pumps I have. So my biggest issue is charging system. Need to get that done, and then move over to the actual air itself. I kind of want to move everything. I don't really care for it all being underneath the bed. I like that it's hidden, but at the same time, I would like it to be more accessible. I would like to kind of be able to show it off. I mean, the only thing I can really show off is just the step notches that I didn't build them, but I put them in. I cut and welded that cross member. The bag mounts, I welded those. I welded them the bottom to the axle. That's custom track bar. That's for like a Chevy Lumina. I cut it down, made a custom mount. Lowering blocks, I got 2 tanks underneath. I'm guessing they're like a 2.5, 3 gallon, one on each side. My pumps are right here zip tied because the way I had them mounted, they actually fell off coming home. Well, so one fell off on the way to the car show. The other one fell off on the way home from the car show. Which, after that, I don't think I actually really drove the truck after that. It's been to like 2 little car meets after that. But the pumps are literally just zip tied on now. I need to actually pull those off, get them mounted somewhere somewhat permanent. I would like to get rid of the fuel cell, get a gas tank for like a Blazer, because that would mount where all the air ride stuff is underneath the back right now. And then if I got rid of the fuel cell, it would clean up the bed a lot, I guess. Make a lot more usable space for if I was to build something for the air ride. I kind of thought about building a raised bed floor. I'm not sure about that yet. I don't really care for the bed floors that come up to like here, because you have 0 usable bed. So what I would like to do is come up to maybe just the top of the notch. I mean, that's still going to cut off a lot of what I actually have for the bed, but then I could actually build like storage compartments underneath. Since going to the 22s, I don't lay frame anymore because the 22s are like 28 inches tall. The 15s I was running were like 26 or 25 or 26, I think. So going to the 28-inch tall tires, obviously it picks the whole truck up because you add that much more space. So what I kind of want to do, well, what I thought about doing was actually completely ripping the truck back apart, which seems like a lot of work, because it is. and actually Zing the frame at the firewall, and then in the back I would have to move my bag mount so I can actually bring the suspension up, which is, the back I think would be easier. All I'd really have to do is take the bed off so I could actually get to everything. The front, I would probably have to actually take the motor out, possibly, I'm not sure. But if I go lower, then I will have to actually, what's it called? I'll have to actually tub the floorboard. I think that's the term for it. I would have to make clearance for my drive shaft, which is a lot of work. So far, going this low, the way it is right now, underneath the back of the cab, right there where the drive shaft is, underneath the back of the cab, I actually had to cut out all the bracing, or a lot of the bracing. And then the same thing on the bed floor, I had to cut out the bracing to actually clear the drive shaft. Which, if the truck is laid out right now, the way it is, the drive shaft actually is rubbing on the cab. Makes horrible noises. I tried moving the truck a couple months ago when it was below freezing, and I guess there was air in the line or something. I laid it out in the driveway so I could get some pictures. And when I went to go raise it back up to bring it back in the garage, I could not raise it up because my lines froze, or the valves froze, something froze. Truck would not go back up. I literally, I guess, drug it into the garage. I drove it, but everything was rubbing, and it did not sound good. So I know that is an issue. I kind of want to get a different air tank for it. Just a big list of stuff I kind of wish I would have just did differently from the beginning. But it's kind of the thing. You either go into a project gung-ho with a bunch of money knowing exactly what you want, or you go in with these, I guess, modest upgrades that you want to do. Like, oh, it'd be cool if it was 4 inches lower. It'd be cool if it was this. It'd be cool if it was that. And then you do it and you're like, you know what? It'd be cool if it was 6 inches lower. And that's kind of what happened to me. I was like, oh, I'm good with just a bolt-on air ride kit. I'll just buy bolt-on stuff. I won't cut the frame. Well, it didn't last very long. I never even drove the truck down the road with the bolt-on kit. So I did a bolt-on C-notch. I mean, it looked good. It sat a lot lower. And then I was like, you know what? I want a step notch. I started talking to a company out in Nevada, and he told me pretty much like what kit he would buy. So I bought just notches. I made everything work. And then I was like, you know what? Now the back is pretty much laying frame, so I got to do something to the front. The front was already on. It was a bolt-in kit, just replaces the coil springs, drop spindles, and then I was like, you know what? It needs to go lower. So then I wanted to cup the lower control arms, which cupping you get another 3 inches, but then you want to run big wheels, and to run big wheels, you got to make space for the big wheels to go. And to do that, then you get to cut out a whole bunch of your inner fender. And right now on 22s, the hood actually does not shut because the strut bars, those are actually off a Dodge Ram. I had to move the hood hinges to the firewall. And then when I put the 22s on, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to cut the fenders a little more. Well, this is as far as the hood wants to shut because those the hood struts are actually sitting across the tire. If I bump the air ride just a little bit, the hood will shut because, well, I mean, I can shut it, but I'm bending those struts. So I need to figure out a different way to either redo the struts, mount them somewhere different, or different struts altogether. I was too cheap to buy the $400 kit that they make for these trucks. So me working in a machine shop at work, I was able to spend some of my free time, came home, made some templates of what I thought I needed, did a bunch of, I don't know if you'd really call it research. I kept on looking at pictures online of the other kits and kind of came up with the measurements I thought would work. Made some cardboard templates, tweaked them, made a second set of cardboard templates, tweaked them, and I said, I think this is our final thing. I went to work, made some steel ones, brought them home, put them in, and they worked. And then I would just have to use a hood prop every time because the factory ones actually have, well, actually there's a factory hinge down here in my kids' toys. They got that big ass spring, so when you lift the hood up, the hood just stays up. And that was kind of nice because you didn't have to use a hood prop. But then you go lower, you got to cut the fenders out. The hood hinges are in the way, and then you have to hood hinges are in the way, then you have to relocate them, and then the hood doesn't stay up by itself. So then you can buy a strut kit that mounts on the firewall, which is like another $100 and something on top of what the actual hinge kit was. And then after all of that, well, you have to put a bunch of money into it just to keep the hood open, or you can use a 2x4 or make a custom prop. Which I don't know if I want to make a custom prop yet, or if I want to try to modify it so I can actually keep the hood up, because I don't really care for hood props. It just, I don't know, no hood prop just looks cleaner when you got the hood open. But at the same time, I don't really care for what it looks like under the hood. But enough of me rambling around. I need to try to start getting some work done and keep you guys updated, try to get some stuff done before we start getting them 50, 60 degree days when I want to be out cruising with my friends and nothing to cruise in except for maybe the Cummins or the Charger. So I need to actually get a hold of that company so I can get that alternator done and go from there, I guess. But thanks for watching. See you guys on the